Welcome everybody, Mr. Vidich here. Today we're going to do lesson 5.4, the use of brackets. So we have a couple of goals today. One of them is how to deal with brackets when we have multiplication, and the other one is how to find a common factor and extract that common factor from your expression and create brackets. So we're kind of going to do a full circle today. We're going to learn how to get rid of brackets, and then we're going to learn how to put the brackets back in. Okay, so let's do a few examples here. Example number one here. Okay, I have 5, and then I have times, and in the bracket I have 3a minus 2. Okay, the important thing here is to ask yourself, what is the operation that is in between that 5 and the bracket? Okay, and the operation that's there is multiplication. So I could rewrite this as 5 times and then a bracket 3a minus 2. However, because now we're starting to use variables and symbols, oftentimes somebody might confuse that multiplication sign with the letter X. So I want everybody to learn how to use the new notation, the new method of writing it, and that is without the multiplication sign, just next to each other. Okay, so let me go ahead and rewrite that using the new way. So it's 5 and then 3a minus 2. Okay, now the next thing is, because it's multiplication, I have to multiply everything in the bracket with my 5. Okay, and to do that, I'm going to use my arrows that are going to help me figure this out. So here's an arrow between the 5 and the 3a, and the 5 and the negative 2. So what that tells me is that I need to multiply this 5 with both of these terms inside the bracket. So let's go ahead and do that. So 5 times 3a is going to be 15a. Okay, again, you have 3 apples and you're multiplying that by 5, so you end up with 15 apples. Okay, then now we can all do 5 times negative 2, and be careful with your signs here. 5 times negative 2 is going to give me negative 10. So that's how we get rid of the brackets there. Okay, don't forget to take notes as you're watching this video. Either you can print out this worksheet from the Weebly, okay, or you can just create your own. You can just copy the questions down in your notebook. Okay, so here we go. The question B here. I have A times B minus C. So again, I have to multiply that A with everything inside the bracket. So A times B and then A times negative C. So here we go. A times B, well, that's just going to give me AB. And A times negative C is going to give me negative AC. Now, I want everybody to, when you're writing, when you have more than one variable or symbol in your term, right here I have 2, okay, and right here I have 2 variables. Okay, write them alphabetically, so AB and then AC. That will help you not confuse them together. Okay, so let's keep going here. Okay, now here's a bit of a tricky one here. I have 2y, but then I have a plus sign. Okay, plus sign, and then in brackets I have a minus y and a plus 4. So here's how I want you to think of this question. Okay, imagine that there's a plus 1 right there in front of that bracket. Okay, it's an imaginary 1. We don't have to write it, but it will help you get through this question. So now, how you get rid of the bracket? Well, the same way, I'm going to multiply all the terms inside the bracket with that negative 1. So, well, the 2y, well, that just stays on the outside. And now I have 1 times negative y is going to be negative y, and 1 times 4 is going to be positive 4. Okay, so the key thing, what kind of happened here is, and most of you already know, when you have a positive and a negative next to each other, you're going to end up with a negative. So nothing really changed in this question. I just rewrote that negative y and the plus 4 without the bracket. Okay, so when you have a when you have a plus 1 like that, you can go ahead and just get rid of your brackets, because the 1 is not going to change anything. Multiplying anything by 1, it stays as it is. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and simplify this. This is going to become 2y minus y. So I have 2 y's, I lose 1. I'm going to get y and then plus 4. Okay, let me go ahead and do a similar thing here. I'm going to put a 1 here. Now it's a negative 1. So that will change things a little bit, because when I multiply with a negative 1, everything is going to change their sign. So again, the a is on the outside here. Now I have negative 1 times a is going to become negative a, and negative 1 times 7 is going to be negative 7. So look what happened here. All the signs sort of flip-flopped. It was a positive a, now it's a negative a. It was a positive 7, now it's a negative 7. Okay, a times a minus a, well, that's just 0. So my answer is negative 7. Okay, what we're doing here is called the distributive law. We are distributing the thing on the outside of the bracket, the term on the outside of the bracket, with everything inside the bracket. Okay, and the general rule for distributive law is well, if we have use the letters A, B, and C here, it would be A, B plus AC. Okay, so that's the first part, getting rid of the brackets. But what if we wanted what if we started off without brackets and we want to put some brackets in? Well, this is called factoring, and it's kind of like working backwards. So if we can think of this here as going from this way, now we're going to go back towards this thing. That's called factoring, and going from this with brackets to no brackets, that's called distributing. Okay, or we can call it actually expanding. Expanding might be a better way to call it. Okay, let's see if we can go backwards now. Okay, we have 2 more questions here. So the way we go backwards is, the key word here is common denominator, common factor. Okay, so you need to find a common factor between both of these terms. Okay, and the common factor in this case is the a. Okay, so once I find my common factor, I'm going to put my GCF here. Between the 2 terms is a, and your common factor, you're going to put it out in the front of your bracket. Okay, now what goes inside the bracket? Well, whatever is left over. Okay, if I take out an a from 3ac, well, what's left over? 3c. If I take out a from 4ad, what's left? 4d. Okay, and you can work backwards again to check your answer by expanding. And let's see, if I expand it back, that's 3ac plus 4ad, and if that's what you started with originally, it means your factoring is correct. And indeed it is in this case. Okay, let's do the same thing for the b here. What's the common factor? GCF, so write this down here to help you out. Between these 2 terms, well, I see that there's an x that's common to both, but there's also another number that's common to both, and that is the 2. Okay, because the 2 can go into the 2 here, and the 2 can go into the 6. So the 2x is going to be out in the front, and when I take out a 2x from 6xy, what are we left with? 3y. And that's because when I go backwards, 2 times 3 is 6, and x times y is just xy. So that's what I mean when I say take it out. You're removing, you're dividing that 6 by the 2. Okay, now when I remove the 2x from 2x, well, what's left? 1 is left over. Okay, and again, when I say take out, what I mean really the mathematical operation is dividing. So it's going to be 2x divided by, should put a negative there, negative 2x. There's that negative 2x divided by your greatest common factor, which is 2x, and I'm left with a negative 1. Okay, let's check it to make sure we're correct. So I'm going to distribute this back in. So 2x times 3y is 6xy. Okay, that one is correct. That's right there. And then 2x times negative 1 is negative 2x. And that's what we had here, which means we are correct. Okay, thanks for watching and see you next time.